Well, listen to the book and its title. Super Freakonomics, Global Cooling, Patriotic Prostitutes, and Why Suicide Bombers Should Buy Life Insurance. We begin with what I will call the parable of the horse manure. It was a serious problem. And in case you haven't heard, the horse manure problem just went away. It totally went away with an answer that no scientist had predicted: the horseless carriage. Now, of all the things that Super Freakonomics says, and there's a lot of critics saying it's a bad book, it's got bad science, the idea that it has in the book about how to solve global warming is unworkable. You put all of that aside, and here is one of the key messages of this book. People find solutions. And when they find them, they are cheaper than expected, and they make more sense than expected after the fact, although they can't see them in advance. This is, I don't know what you would call it. I don't know if it's a business book. It's a book about everything, sort of, but it is an absolute fascinating read. Now, I could have listed many more, but I call these holy mackerels. I've never thought of this. For example, do you know that people with a last name beginning with A, Dave Arnott, this fits you, are more likely to get tenure than those with a last name beginning with Z? Get ready for this. We have fewer military personnel dying in war now than we had a couple of decades ago getting ready for war. Practicing to fight a war can be just about as dangerous as actually fighting one. Holy mackerel. Growing up watching a lot of television, crime went up in the 60s. Growing up watching a lot of television, any shows, regardless of content, results in a higher crime rate. You could have been watching, in fact, people were watching Leave It to Beaver and became criminals. I don't know. Fascinating. Put a picture of flowers on an honor system cup for coffee, and people give less money than if the picture is human eyeballs. Holy mackerel. All right, this one not only rang true to me, it explains a lot. It only takes 1 second of waiting time for a website to load before cognitive drift sets in. 1 second. And in the book they say, and if it takes 10 seconds to actually load, you have literally forgotten what you were waiting for. So, first second distracted, 10 seconds you have no idea what you're doing. And I don't know how to talk about this in polite company, but these scientists decided to teach some Capuchins, monkeys, how to use money, and in a matter of days, they were paying for sex. No further comment. When the solution to a given problem doesn't lay right before our eyes, it is easy to assume that no solution exists. But history has shown again and again that such assumptions are wrong. Human ingenuity, when given proper incentives, is bound to be larger than large problems. So this is a very optimistic book about the fixes that are available. I'll end with this. You can read through this list and it will whet your appetite. What do you do about global warming? It turns out the best thing you can do about global warming, they sort of acknowledge it's real, but it's already too late to do much about it the way we're talking about. The best thing to do is to have a few volcanoes. Because the stuff shot in the air from a volcano cools the planet because the sun bounces off. And so there's a scientist who says, let's put a great big pipe at the North Pole and the South Pole and shoot up volcano stuff. And when we do that, it's going to make a big difference. Well, that's where they've been criticized. But all I can say is, Super Freakonomics is almost impossible to do a synopsis of, but holy mackerel, what an interesting read. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.